I think one school of leadership that we both went through, you much more extensively than I. When we were cadets, I think we were all kind of blue-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Yeah.
I think we had a very charismatic leader, one that has been on this podcast as well. Although I think there's also different opinions on it. But back then we were all what we would call pretty gung-ho, right? And
Yeah.
I think what enamored us so much with the military lifestyle was the structure, the clear mission and vision, the principles behind it. How was it for you? Because you kind of went through it. You kind of morphed. You were kind of the junior cadet, and then you went into you became an officer, and then you did something which I think it takes a lot of courage to do. You said, well, I mean, everybody wants to be an officer and gentleman, but you said, well, actually, what's my real passion? That was flying helicopters, and then you became a warrant officer. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about what the difference is, how your leadership perspective evolved throughout your military career before we go into your politics.
Yeah, so very much like you, I was gung ho. I led the drill team and everything. And when the shuttle crash occurred, we did the 24-hour thing out front. For me, I joined. Part of me wanted that structure, but part of me was just the way I was raised. I really believe in service. I really believed in it and wanted to do that. So it was a battle when I became a lieutenant in the reserves, and I couldn't get on active duty. I wanted to be on active duty.
Yeah, you were on that tail end.
Yes,
where the Cold War had just ended, and that's why I didn't sign up. That's why I didn't sign the dotted line when I came back from Austria back then, because I talked to Major Bright, and he gave me a little bit of an attitude. But he said, yeah, I saw sign on the dotted line, and I was like, it's all over. Everybody they were cutting lieutenants and captains everywhere. Yeah, so it was kind of the end of the Cold War.
Yeah. We had a lot, and that really talks to character too.
Yeah.
We had a lot of our friends that had criminal justice degrees, political science degrees. Everybody was planning on being an officer in the Army. So,
and we can, off the top of our head, probably mention at least 10 people that had the quality to become senior officers, but only a handful of them ever did because of that rift after that one. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and I think a lot of the guys handled it well. Some did not.
Yeah.
Because you literally in one day are told everything that you've been planning on for 4 years is not going to happen.
Yeah.
So how do you respond to that? It's like for me in business, losing one of my biggest government contracts. If I lost that, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
How are you going to change the course and make up for that?
Yeah.
So for me, it was, I wanted to serve. I really wanted to serve. And I
like that you say that, Todd, because that's kind of what I alluded to beforehand. I think one of the values that the military have, and I always love to do this analogy of how business emulates the military from an organizational structure, from a process structure. Process is the equivalent of standard operating procedures, and how do you scale up an organization, and how do you create efficiencies? I think that's all business learns that from the military. But sometimes I wonder whether the business world really understands the true quality of leadership that is baked into the military. And a lot of people would think that's the command obey principle. It's not that. It goes way beyond that. It's that transcendent purpose of serving something greater than you. I think that's something that's often lacking. As much as we talk about vision and mission in the private industry, it's just not the same. It's just not the same.
Oftentimes it's not. If you get leaders that actually, believe in the solution, believe in what you're trying to accomplish, it's that nonprofit element that we were talking about. It's that true believer piece. Then I think you see it.
Yeah.
It gets lost a lot of time as the organization grows. And that's something you got to be very careful of as a leader, I think. is that, it's very easy to get into the inbox. True in any organization. Very easy to get in the inbox and not look up and say, I need to think about our vision and mission again. I need to refocus on what I'm supposed to be doing here. Because otherwise you'll say, yeah, we need to rework the mission statement. Fine.